Mercy Hospital announces it'll require employees to get vaccinated against COVID-19. How area health departments are handling contact tracing as more of the population gets vaccinated. President Biden heads to Chicago to sell his American Families plan.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Joplin's Mercy Hospital says it'll require employees to have COVID-19 vaccines effective September 30th. This is KOAM News at 5. In announcing the new policy today, Mercy said it's experiencing the real-world impact of vaccines and that most patients recently hospitalized with COVID have not been vaccinated. Mercy says it'll work with employees to develop a plan to get all the employees vaccines before the deadline. As the Delta variant continues to spread in southwest Missouri, contact tracing is picking back up. In Jasper County, the health department is hiring additional contact tracers. After the number of COVID cases in the area started to drop a few months ago, the department reduced their number of contact tracers to 1. Now they're in the process of hiring 5 more. Some of the contact tracers will be part-time.
We think that'll be enough for right now unless we see a major uptick in cases, at which time we may have to add more. We hate to put on a lot right now that and then have the case rates drop, but at the same time, we can't continue to be understaffed.
Tonight at 6, we're going to hear how contact tracing has changed as more 4-staters receive COVID-19 vaccines. Checking in with Doug Heddy for a first look at the weather.
Hey, Dow. Showers, thunderstorms return for us today. Also, the temperatures and the humidity have been creeping up over the past couple days. But we do actually have a cold front that is sliding in through the overnight hours tonight. And what this is doing is giving us some scattered showers and thunderstorms across the region. Most of them on the Kansas side and a couple kind of strong storms, one just to the north of Chanute near Iola. We have a couple popping up Jasper County, and then once you get over into Lawrence and Dade County. But I think majority of these scattered storms this evening are going to be on the Kansas and the Oklahoma side as we go through the evening hours. By the time the sun sets, a lot of these kind of fizzle apart. We kind of lose the heating of the day. So these are going to be very hit and miss over the next few hours, but don't be surprised if you get stuck under a quick little storm. Temperatures mainly sitting into the upper 80s, a little bit cooler where the clouds and the showers and thunderstorms are in southeastern Kansas. Of course, we're going to look at the rest of the week here in just a bit.
Doug, thanks. Search crews in Surfside, Florida say their efforts at a collapsed condo, the recovery efforts have shifted from rescue to recovery. This comes as 10 more bodies were recovered, bringing the confirmed death toll to 46. About 100 people are still unaccounted for. Although the cause of the collapse is still unknown, it's raising concerns about other buildings in the area set for inspection. President Biden returns to the Midwest to push for investment in his so-called human infrastructure proposals. But they're a hard sell for Republicans and even some Democrats in Congress, as lawmakers are also putting together a bill to fund some of the president's traditional infrastructure priorities. Natalie Brand reports from the White House.
Thank you.
In his first trip to Illinois since taking office, President Biden pitched his American Families plan in a key swing county located an hour outside of Chicago.
To truly win the 21st century and once again lead the world, to truly build an economy from the bottom up and the middle out, to truly deal everybody in this time, we need to invest in our people.
While there, the president toured McHenry County College to emphasize his calls for free 2-year community college, also free universal preschool, and national paid family and medical leave.
President Biden's larger infrastructure plans still face an uphill battle in Congress nearly 2 weeks after he and a bipartisan group of senators announced a deal on a smaller bill funding physical infrastructure.
Mitch McConnell says you're in for a heck of a fight on this one.
Mitch McConnell loves our program.
President Biden poked at the legislative standoff with his former Senate colleague, Minority Leader Mitch McConnell. Senator McConnell was in his home state of Kentucky Wednesday to celebrate improvements at Bluegrass Airport.
It's important we equip the Commonwealth's airports with the resources needed.
Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer has said there's a two-track plan to pass some of the president's human infrastructure and climate priorities in a second larger spending measure using reconciliation. Some Senate Democrats and House progressives have said they will not support a bipartisan hard infrastructure package without taking a vote on that second spending bill. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
Another key element of the President's American Families Plan is expansion of the child tax credit, first enacted by Congress in the American Rescue Plan. Those monthly payments for eligible working families are expected to begin going out next week. Top security officials gathered at the White House today to talk cybersecurity after the recent attack on an American software company. Miami, Florida-based IT software company Kaseya was hit with what's known as a supply chain attack. It affected hundreds of companies worldwide, including railways and a Swedish grocery chain. A Russian cyber gang called Revil demanded money in that breach. Haitian officials say the country's president, Jovenel Moïse, was assassinated in the middle of the night in his home. His wife was also shot and wounded in the attack. She's said to be critical but stable condition. Authorities in Haiti have declared a state of siege as they search for gunmen. Coming up in Health Watch, approaching a grim milestone.
COVID deaths worldwide hit an alarming number. I'm Elise Preston with a warning from doctors as variants continue to spread.
And later, car prices hit record highs as a computer chip shortage slams the industry. Topping today's Health Watch, doctors now have a stronger link between COVID-19 and low testosterone levels in men. Italian researchers say men with low testosterone are more likely to become severely ill and 6 times more likely to die from the coronavirus. Doctors aren't sure if patients initially had low testosterone or if COVID lowered their levels. The death toll from COVID-19 is approaching a grim milestone. Johns Hopkins data shows we're nearing 4 million deaths globally. And while we've made some major strides against COVID, experts say more needs to be done, especially with new variants popping up here in the U.S. Elise Preston reports.
Deborah Carmichael lost her daughter Tricia to the Delta variant almost a month ago.
It was so severe. This variant is just brutal. It takes no prisoners.
Deborah says Tricia was hesitant to get the COVID vaccine and then had even more reservations after her mother felt sick from her first shot.
After that, she was just adamant that she wasn't going to even mess with it. By the time she was thinking about, well, maybe I should do this or something, she had already picked up COVID.
While the push is on to get more Americans vaccinated, the virus keeps spreading and mutating. The Delta variant is now the dominant strain in the U.S.
The variants that we see emerging are adapting more and more to be more efficient at infecting humans, maybe more likely to cause severe disease and hospitalization.
COVID cases nationwide are up by 9%. Several states are seeing spikes, and most have lower than average vaccination rates. A little less than half the U.S. population is fully vaccinated, and there are concerns progress is slowing. Dr. Lisa Maragakis is Senior Director of Infection Prevention with Johns Hopkins. She says the summer may see lower transmission, but expect that trend to reverse in the fall and winter.
My concern is that, at least in the United States, I see a lot of jubilation that the numbers have improved and that perhaps the pandemic is behind us. And I know that's not true worldwide. I don't believe it's true in our country either, with the respiratory virus season ahead of us.
She says now is the time to get the vaccine to protect yourself and the community. Elise Preston, CBS News, New York.
The U.S. has had the most deaths of any country in the world, with more than 600,000 lives lost to COVID. People who survive severe cases of COVID-19 are twice as likely to be hospitalized for other illnesses. Researchers at the University of Florida say those illnesses are a result of COVID-19 complications, including heart attack, stroke, and pulmonary embolism. And that is a look at today's health news. A little bit later, our pet vet on call.
Hi, I'm Dr. Eva Dudek from Parsons Pet Hospital. Coming up, we've got an animal fun fact about ravens.
thunderstorms across the region. Check that out.
Answers.org.
Well, we've had some scattered showers and thunderstorms for us throughout the afternoon hours today. Most of these have been on the Kansas side, and they are very hit and miss, but we are going to see these sticking around, at least over the next few hours. And some of these are strong, not really looking at much in the way of severe weather. You can see there is one little severe thunderstorm warning out across north central parts of Oklahoma. But most of these are just kind of hit and miss across the region, and that's what we expect as we go through the next few hours. We have one little cluster across parts of northern Lawrence County, southern Dade County, and then also a couple near Oronogo and then up in the northern parts of Jasper County, which are pushing off toward the east. And these are dropping some heavy amounts of rain. A little stronger cell once you get on the Kansas side. So here's Iola, Humboldt, just north of Chanute, and then pushing into western parts of Bourbon County, and you can see a lot of thunder, a lot of lightning, some heavy amounts of rain, and then a few additional clusters in our very far western counties which are working in. So these are going to continue to pop up, hit and miss over the next few hours, but once we lose the heating of the day, so here's 8 p.m., then these storms just kind of fizzle apart. We just don't have that much juice in the atmosphere. Also notice how the wind switched to the north, a cold front slides through, or I guess a cool front. It's not really going to do much for our temperatures, but it will drop our humidity tomorrow, which is definitely good. So by the time we go through the overnight hours, we're still going to have some clouds, but most of these showers and thunderstorms will push out of the region. Temps right now, a little bit cooler where you have the showers. You have 80 in Chanute, you still have 91 in Iola, and then you got 86 in Miami. Anderson is sitting at 88 degrees, but the humidity has come up over the past couple days. You can see most of our dew points are sitting kind of in that 70 to 72 range, so kind of muggy, soupy-ish across the region. So it does give us heat indices, especially where you don't have the rain. Makes it feel like it's sitting into the lower 90s. Some cumulus clouds popping outside currently in Joplin, sitting at 88. Humidity is relative at 55%. Through the evening hours, we'll slide back through the 80s, 70s, eventually into the 60s later on tonight. But we are going to have those scattered thunderstorms around for the next couple hours as this system drops through, and then we look pretty good as we go into the next couple days. Also still, we have Tropical Storm Elsa, which made landfall earlier today, producing heavy amounts of rain, now shifting into southern parts of Georgia, and really is going to just kind of slide up the eastern seaboard. All right, back here at home for tomorrow morning, starting in the 60s. The afternoon looks pretty good. There's going to be some scattered thunderstorms, mainly to our south and to our east, but we look pretty good. We'll start at 66, 81 by noon, high temp right around 87 degrees. Tomorrow night, also not bad. Partly cloudy skies heading into Friday morning. Then as we go into Friday afternoon, partly sunny skies starting to heat up a little bit more as we bounce back into lower 90s for afternoon highs. And then our rain chances will increase again by the time we head into the weekend. So let's go 87 tomorrow, 92 on Friday, 88 Saturday. A little bit cooler Sunday and Monday behind the weekend storm system, and then back near 90 by the middle of next week.
It'd be nice to have a cooler weather for at least a brief time anyway.
Yeah, and especially the humidity dropping.
Yeah, thanks, Jack. The Economic Security Corporation today unveiled a new dog park for residents of the Joplin Bungalows. The bungalows are an affordable housing development for seniors and veterans, many of whom have dogs. The Ozark Center wanted the dogs to have a place to play, so they donated money to build the dog park.
Well, it brings a lot of things. Our program, the VIP, which is the middle, is integration. And a dog, believe it or not, can help integrate. If nothing else, help the veteran integrate back into the community with the dog family, with a group of veterans.
That dog park is open only to bungalow residents, not to the general public. Coming up, a breakdown of the record high prices for cars. First, though, we honor a local veteran. Dale Owens joined the U.S. Army in 2003. The Noel, Missouri native was stationed in Iraq, and we salute Sergeant Dale Owens, a four-state hero. Top in Consumer Watch today, global air travel continues to lag behind the domestic recovery. According to the International Air Transport Association, worldwide travel demand was 63% lower in May compared to pre-pandemic levels. Global flights continue to be affected by ongoing restrictions, including testing and quarantine requirements. More than $600,000 in fines have been handed out to unruly passengers on planes this year. That's according to the Federal Aviation Administration. The majority of the disruptive travelers were people who refused to comply with mask mandates. Some of the disorderly conduct over masks escalated into shouting matches and even physical violence. If you're shopping for a car, be prepared for sticker shock. Prices are at record levels. The average cost of a new car has now topped $40,000, and used cars are up nearly 30% in the last year. The main reason, a shortage of computer chips. Reporter Carter Evans explains.
You can actually put the seats down.
When Nina and Ziska went shopping recently for a new car, there were few options and no deals.
How much more did you spend than you wanted to?
I probably am spending closer to $100 more a month than I wanted to.
She was hoping to lease the same model Volkswagen Jetta that her brother got 9 months ago for $250 a month. She was quoted $315, 26% higher.
For the same car?
For the same exact car.
It's absolutely nuts right now if you want to buy a new car.
Auto industry analyst Ed Kim says the computer chip shortage is to blame.
So you're not getting any big discounts on cars?
Oh, God, no. I would say you're pretty lucky if you're just paying MSRP.
During the pandemic, U.S. automakers temporarily closed factories and canceled orders for computer chips amid plunging sales. So chip makers focused instead on making smaller chips for electronics like refrigerators, TVs, phones, and laptops, which are all in high demand now.
Once you adapt your supply chain to something else, it takes a while to go back. I struggle to see things going back to what they were, for another, I would say 6 to 9 months.
In the meantime, some automakers are storing unfinished vehicles. Ford says it's putting the brakes on production at some factories this summer. The company anticipates producing more than 1 million fewer vehicles this year. Many are now turning to used vehicles, driving prices up 30% in May, with some models reselling for more than they did when they were new.
What advice would you give to someone who needs to buy a car in the next 6 months?
Well, if at all possible, wait.
If you've got a used car to sell, now is a wonderful time to sell it, as long as you don't have to buy one to replace it. Carter Evans, CBS News, Los Angeles.
A final check of the forecast next.
Or Joplin and Butler, Missouri.
The CBS Evening News is next. Then on KOAM News at 6, we're going to have more on the contact tracing efforts of area health departments as vaccination rates increase. Plus, Missouri Governor Mike Parson signs a bill into law protecting healthcare providers from lawsuits resulting from their response to the pandemic. And authorities in McDonald County, Missouri arrest a suspect in multiple burglaries. Stay with us. CBS Evening News and then KOAM News at 6. Seems Edgar Allan Poe's poem, The Raven, is not quite as far-fetched as you might think. Today, our pet vet on call has a fun fact for us about ravens.
Ravens can be taught to talk. Actually, they're even better talkers than parrots because they have the ability to mimic different tones and pitches like low voice of a man or the high voice of a woman, and parrots can't. In fact, they can talk so well that they have tricked people into believing that there is somebody up in the tree talking down to them.
Nevermore. If you have a question, whether it's about a weird habit of your pet, maybe a health concern, just send it to PetVet, KOAMTV.com. Dr. Eva Dudak from the Parsons Pet Hospital answers a different question or brings us a fun fact every Wednesday right here on KOAM News at 5. All right, now let's check out this week's picks of the litter. From the Joplin Humane Society, we've chosen a male kitten named Jose. And from the Southeast Kansas Humane Society, we've chosen a male boxer mix named Cooper. If you're looking for a pet, why not check out your local Humane Society? They say that boxer mix is a fun-loving, happy guy, loves to play, looking for a home. Chances of rain for parts of the area.
Yeah, some scattered showers and thunderstorms across the region over the next few hours. And some of these storms, if you get caught underneath one of them, can drop some pretty heavy amounts of rain. Tomorrow looks pretty good. Humidity a little bit lower, 87, back to 92 on Friday, and then rain chances right back in for the weekend.
Thanks for joining us. The CBS Evening News is next. And of course, we're going to be right back here for KOAM News at 6. We'll see you then. Let's make it a great evening.